Ladies, we have a great sound system, as you can see. I'm honored to be here with you today at Alcott, and we are Alcott proud. Let's give Alcott a big hand, please. I will be giving comments in just a moment, but before giving my comments, I think it appropriate to give the principal at this great institution an opportunity to give us a welcome and to give us her commentary. So at this time, Principal Kim Williams will give us the comments from Alcott. A big hand for her, please.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Congressman, for involving us in this event. We are definitely excited. This is something that has been an opportunity to come to this community for a long, long time. I know many peers are hoping and looking forward to this new development in the area to ensure that students are transitioning back and forth from school and home daily. And we just want to welcome you and thank you guys for including us in this, and I hope to see the great things to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another hand for the lady, please. Thank you. Principal. Well, friends, I am honored to have with me a number of people also will be probably introduced at an appropriate time. At this time, I'd like to thank the members of the press for being here. We are extremely appreciative because it's important for people to know what we are doing. If people don't know that you're doing things, they assume that you're doing nothing. And this is something of great importance because of the amount of federal dollars that will be coming to this area to help us upgrade some of the streets, some of the sidewalks, not all, but enough to make a difference. So at this time, let me start by saying this. While this appears to be a long time coming, it is finally here. And I say a long time coming because I have in my hand an article from the Houston Chronicle style, The Way Forward, Better Lighting, Signals, Signs, and Ramps Needed for Houston Pedestrians and Cyclists. This article is dated November 1st, 2018, and the writer for this article, Doug Gulfgate with the Chronicle, he has been following this kind of thing for years, and I want him to know that he has made a difference and that we're going to announce today some of the things that he has in his article that are needed for Houston, Texas, some in this very area. Today, friends, we are going to announce $1.6 million, $1.6 million from the federal government to increase safety, mobility, and economic development as well between the intersections of Walter Street and Belford Avenue, as well as Prescott Street and Wayside Drive. These are two areas that are highly populated, and they have a large pedestrian population because people are traversing the streets, sidewalks, and they have people who are riding bicycles. As you know, Commissioner Ellis is the preeminent cyclist in the city. And whenever we do something of this nature, he is always present. Give him a hand, please, for being with us today. This $1.6 million will be utilized to improve new crosswalks, disability accessible ramps, pedestrian walk signals, pedestrian islands in the middle of streets. Many people are not aware that's a safe zone in the middle of the street that we call a pedestrian island. It gives you an opportunity to move from one sidewalk to the other side of the street without having to make a dash over their cross. You can stop at that safe zone that we call a pedestrian island. And we also have bicycle access upgrades and new sidewalks. Now, let's look at some of the statistical information. According to the numbers from the Texas Department of Transportation, statewide, the death toll from car accidents in 2020 was 3,896, up from 3,623 deaths in 2019. These are the latest numbers that I have. And during 2020, Houston had 274 fatalities. Now, these are fatalities involving auto accidents. Let's drill down just a moment with a degree of specificity as it relates to Houston and pedestrians. In Houston, according to the Houston Public Media, the number of pedestrian fatalities in Houston increased increased by 9 from 2021 to 2022, with a total of 115 in 2022. According to the Houston Chronicle, from January 2021 to December 2022, there were 358 pedestrian deaths in Harris County, an average of 15 a month. Here, overall, 323 motorists, passengers, pedestrians, and cyclists lost their lives on Houston streets in 2022, and 1,592 more were seriously injured. According to data from the Texas Department of Transportation, these records are available to you. Now, according to TxDOT, and this is an important fact, Texas has lost at least one person every day on Texas roads since November of 2000. You can well understand why it's necessary for us to improve the safety measures along our roadways. This is what this $1.6 billion is all about. But I'd like to say just a word about the money itself, if I may. This money comes by way of what we call community project funding. For many of you who are as old school as I am, having just celebrated my 25th birthday for the third time, you remember these things as earmarks. These so-called earmarks, community project funding, as they are now, these are things that we can direct to communities, as we're doing now. When I say we, I mean members of Congress. It gives us the ability to say that in a qualified area, there's a need. Let's see if we can satiate that need by directing funds. That's what we're doing today. I'm making these comments because this process itself is at risk. This is a process that has allowed us to have $9 billion of 5,000 projects in 2022. That was about 6% of the discretionary spending. Discretionary spending excludes Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. About 6% of the discretionary spending. For 2023, it was $15.3 billion for 7,000 projects. Less than 1% of discretionary spending, about 0.9%. And let me correct myself, for 2022, it was 0.6%, not about 6%, about 0.6%, 0.6%. 2022, 0.9% for 2023. This is important to note because of the overall budget. The budget in terms of discretionary spending for 2022 was $1.5 billion. For 2023, $1.7 billion. So this discretionary spending by way of these earmarks, it is a very, very, very small amount of the total amount of discretionary spending. I believe it makes a difference, but I also understand that the public can make a difference, because if we are to maintain this process, the public is going to have to weigh in. The process is at risk. There are persons who believe that if we're going to cut, this is a great place to cut funds, which means we wouldn't have this $1.6 billion of our money. It wouldn't come, because we would not have to get back to something larger bill, which means that we would have to agree on something in Congress. And as you know, getting Congress to agree that the sun will rise tomorrow could be a very difficult thing to do. We appeal to the public. Do what you can. You have a right as a citizen to let people like me know that you appreciate this process. So again, today we will be awarding $1.6 million. I will do this after we've heard from some of the luminaries, public officials, at least one who is here. There are many who are not here, will announce their names at a later time. But at this time, I'm going to ask a person who is more than a county commissioner, a person who has been a friend for many, many years, the Honorable Rodney Evans, who has served as a state senator, as a city council person, and who has a wealth of knowledge about these kinds of issues. I ask that you hear this commentary at this time. Give him a hand, please. The Honorable Rodney Evans.
Thank you, Principal Kim Williams and the Alpine community for being here. Sunny Garza and all of the folks with the Gulfgate Redevelopment Authority, but in particular, I want to thank Congressman Albert. There's no way we could have made it through the pandemic without voices like his fighting to get us the federal money that we got to help us do it. And there's no way we could be in the middle of the recovery and doing so well as we were doing without Congressman Albert. And his colleagues, I want to say as well, and we appreciate all of his colleagues, but particularly appreciate him and the colleagues who voted for this money. We're always nice to all of those who show up at all of the ribbon cuttings, even for those projects that members of Congress get designated. Some of the folks who are being most vociferous against it are the ones who put most of them in. Congressman Al Green, from the moment he showed up in Houston, a law student at Texas Southern University, he was the head of the NAACP here. He was the head of it when we got a permanent office for the NAACP. A great career as a justice of peace. And my mentor, Congressman Leland, and I were real proud of him when he made a bid for mayor of the city of Houston. And I still haven't united with my back. When somebody who remains a dear friend now reminds me from time to time that Stevie Leland and I work with him, but he's done a great job in the United States Congress. Give him another round of applause. Thank you for waiting for me to show up. I wasn't working. I was talking to the judge's office. I talked to the head of the toll road authority. I talked to the county manager. But I made a confession. A cold front came in this morning. It was only about 83 degrees. And I was about to shave and get dressed to head over here. And I looked at my phone and I saw the weather and I immediately jumped on my bicycle. And I rode from my house over around Texas Southern University, but I was talking up a storm. And the reason I was late, Congressman, I was talking to Allison Lee. And she was talking about you and reminiscing on things, but I got as quick as I could. I want to congratulate the Gulfgate Redevelopment Authority because you turned in this project. Congressman Green was looking for projects that fit the specifications required. And you were smart enough to turn in this project. As a community project funding, the award came because of his leadership. This award makes a pivotal movement for our community and our collective dedication to creating safer routes to school for our children and improving connectivity. That's important. It improves connectivity to ensure that those kids can reach their destination safely, reliably, and conveniently. I walked to school, and it was miserable. It was 3 blocks driving over, and I'm far from here, it's cold now. It was hot as a dickens. And when my dad got a hand-me-down bicycle, it was a whole different world. And I used to watch that show on TV, and they made their RFD. They didn't have bicycles on that other show that I was watching on TV, Amos and Andy. Well, Amos, but Mayberry RFD, they had bicycles. And I was so happy when we got a bike. The Safe Routes to School program gives us improvements in projects, and projects like this are a testament to that collaborative spirit that defines Alcott and any community. Our public health department, the county and the city, partner with various communities to invest in safe streets and safe neighborhoods. It's a program both the city and the county participate in, and it aligns very well with this initiative and this money coming from Congressman. I want to applaud him again for his advocacy efforts. I want to thank him. And I want to mention that this funding will allow us to implement a critical pedestrian and bicycle safety feature around Hartman Middle School, as well as Alcott Elementary and Madden School. The project's scope is to establish a safer thoroughfare crossing while schools improve connectivity to nearby parks, such as Robert C. Stewart Park and F. M. Wall Park, and enhance access to Sims by the Greenway. Now, I'm going to leave these comments with you because go back and think about it. These kids can use this trail to get to Law Park and then get to Sims Bayou. On Sims Bayou, you get a little motorized bike, if they good enough state principle, they can ride all the way to the botanical gardens. They can ride all the way to Hiram Park. This $1.6 million gives the children in this school that connectivity. Through the dedicated work of the Redevelopment Authority, we can see a transformation of intersections throughout our community for crosswalks, marking, accessible ramps, pedestrian signals, and median refugees, as they refer to. Furthermore, the project's plan is to create new sidewalks, shared use path connections along Vassar Road and Belford Avenue, which undoubtedly redefine and navigate this entire neighborhood. These enhancements align perfectly with the ongoing multi-street improvement projects within the zone, showcasing the authority's holistic vision for our community development. The careful consideration and prioritization of this project demonstrate everybody's dedication to the well-being of community members. It's important to celebrate. When I chatted with the Toll Road Authority a few minutes ago, I'm even going to push them. You're within 1 mile of MLK. And I'm pushing them to do that Toll to Trails project that connects this neighborhood all the way with Tom Bass. And you could ride if your kids are in good enough shape, or some of you are in good enough shape as I am. I'm about to celebrate my 3rd 25th birthday in about 6 years, by the way. You can do it. And I want to close on this. Don't just be for pedestrian trails when you're on one. And don't just be for bike lanes when you're on a bike. You got to show up when decisions are being made. You'd be surprised how many people in this neighborhood don't have a car. And most trips we take are really not that long. Average trip is less than 3 miles. And if the number one cause of death for us is what we're going to eat in 2 hours for lunch, it can do a lot to help us deal with obesity. Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, Commissioner Nelson. I was the chief. Give us another hand, please. Okay. And now we will hear from Mr. Sonny Garza, who is the chairperson of the Gulfgate Redevelopment Authority. And as he's about to come, let me share these thoughts with you. It was exceedingly important for us to determine where we could best spend these dollars. And I want to appreciate this organization for edifying us, such as we had good intelligence to make an intelligent decision. It's not easy to allocate these funds, and when you have the help that was provided by the Gulfgate Redevelopment Authority, it really makes it a lot easier. So, Sonny, I want to thank you for what you've done to make my job easier, and look forward to continuing to work with you on this future project. Give us a hand, please. Go ahead.
Good morning, all. Afternoon, staff. Anyway, I want to thank you, everyone, Congressman, principal, honored guests. It's a pleasure for us to be here to recognize along with our partners in the work that we're doing here within the zone. I'm Sonny Garza. I'm the chairman of the Gulfgate Redevelopment Authority, practicing zone number 8. And the number one thing we really saw is every neighborhood deserves safe streets and safe sidewalks, especially focusing on community centers and student life. Thursday is grateful for the opportunity to provide project oversight on a $2 million project promoting walkability and safe access to all elementary school, Park Middle School, Stewart, Long, and Simplifying Park. In addition, Thursday is contributing $1 million to bring these improvements about. We're very happy to be part of the city that allows us to focus on their area. Over the time to build we've elected, this allows us to get our tax dollars and reinvest them in our area. Absolutely, thank you to the corporation for all the work they did for Thursday. It's through their good work that we were able to find this contribution to the grants. Second, I thank the Congressman Albreen, Commissioner, and our principal, whose $1.6 million contribution has made these projects possible. Congressman Gray, thank you so much for all the work that you do every day for all of us here in the community with us. This grassroots initiative is not enough. Your passionate advocacy for your district, including South Park, is so very important and greatly appreciated. Finally, once all this money is available for the federal and state processes, we expect the actual work to begin in late 2024 and complete in 2025. I would like to take a moment to recognize our team. First, Mary Bargo, who's here as our board of directors. Kurt Myers, I just mentioned the Good Corporation. And Alan Bernstein and John Hummel with Oshill. Without whose help, none of this would be happening in person. So all of you, thank you so much again. Partnership with the various entities. Without them, none of this would be happening. We're very proud to be a part of this and help our community be safer and more walkable forever. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lenny. I want to acknowledge some people who could not be with us today, but whose presence is felt. The Honorable Councilwoman Evans Ross, who would dearly like to be here, but is engaged in other matters concerning our city. I'd like to acknowledge some workers who are with us today. These are with a union, and I'm trying to find the name of the union here. Well, the Houston Employees Personnel Union. Where are they? Come on up, please. I want you to photograph who people are not people. Come on up, and we want all the persons who were introduced by Sonny to come up, please. When I present the check, if I can have you up. Let's see, is there any other person here that I should probably recognize that I have not? Let's recognize all of the people who are here today who are making their difference. We have Demetrius Jones, with the Houston Employee Personnel Union. Indigo Mitchell, Ingrid Mitchell, all right, there's a councilman. Thank you. All right, my staff, who made all this possible, who like to stay with me. Thank you. All right, friends, it's time for us to do what we came to do, which is to make the presentation. And as we do this, let's please remember that this is made possible because there are members of Congress who believe that we should be able to direct some of this multi-billion-dollar, actually $1.6 billion budget to specific areas in our congressional district. This is but one of the areas that we have chosen. In the past, we have literally multiplied cities over $100 billion by way of what we call the earmark process, not all project funding. So if I may, the person who will be receiving the check, I'd like you to stand over here, please. All right. And Commissioner, I'd like you to come up over there, please. We'll turn this microphone. All right. I consider this, my friends, a preeminent privilege and a superlative pleasure to present this check symbolizing, I would take it to the bank, the $1.6 billion to the Gulfgate Redevelopment Authority, and it is for our children, it is for our future, and it is for our community. Let's give them one big incredible appreciation. Well, if there are questions, I don't mind standing here holding this check while I answer questions. I have the microphone appropriately pointed to all of you. Any questions? All right. Rachel, are you going to give us a little bit of a summary? All right, we're going to now receive a summary from my district director, Rachel Rodriguez, to explain some of the things that I said.
Buenas tardes. El congresista hoy presentó un cheque de $1.6 millones fondos federales para la autoridad de Gulfgate para mejoras y seguridad y movilidad de las intersecciones. Mientras luchamos para salvar nuestras escuelas, también debemos hacer que las rutas escolares sean más seguras para nuestros estudiantes. Estos fondos beneficiarán a la escuela secundaria Hartman, la escuela primaria Ellicott, Stewart Park, Ettenblock Park, así como servirá para caminatas y bicicletas hacia Inspire. Este proyecto también va a limitar la seguridad, la movilidad y el desarrollo económico entre las intersecciones de las calles Waltrip, Belford Avenue, así como desde Gershon Street hasta Wayside Drive. Estas intersecciones tienen una historia de algunos de los choques vehiculares más frecuentes de la ciudad de Houston, de esta región. Entonces, esta presentación de fondos federales es muy importante para el congresista Al Green, también con el apoyo del comisionado del condado, Ronnie Ellis, también del representante de la oficina del alcalde, Carolyn Evans Shabbat, la autoridad del Gulfgate y también el la príncipe Kim Williams de la escuela de Alcott. Muchas gracias.
Well, thank you everybody for being here, and let's see if we can make this happen all over us. Thank you very much.